we do not know when will be the best date to organize this. But in the meantime, we have been contacting a few other associations, Ministry of Human Resource for the support in organizing this mental health seminar. Right, and the other things that we have in line for this year is the Maritime Conference that supposed to be coincide with the World Maritime Day this year. But we have already passed the World Maritime Day month, but that also put on hold. And we have another one normally organized in November. There is the STS Forum, right? So we play by the ear for the members that who are usually present during the STS Forum. Normally we join with this Singapore SNI, Singapore Nautical Institute, to organize the STS Forum. All right. And reaching out to members and non-members of IKMAL, that just for your information, that for the benefit of non-members, that during MCO we had reach out to the members. One is talking about giving the financial aid, financial assistance to the members who are in need of financial assistance. And we also give the normal annual Seafarers Education Fund to 6 members. And we also did have seafarers who are stuck on board the ship, and we ordered the SOP that they cannot sign on and sign off. We have written to various ministries, agencies like Immigration, Jabatan Laut, even KKM to help us into helping the seafarer to be able to sign on and off, because when they delay sign off, then they extend their tour of duty, meaning that there will be an added pressure or stress in terms of their stay on board the ship, and they worry about their family, their wife at home. So because of that, that's why we are organizing this session this afternoon, that to get feedback from you, that what else can IKMAL do for members or non-members. Eventually, they have the interest in helping IKMAL and or be a new member of IKMAL. Please provide your feedback today. And there's no idea as a wrong idea. We will take everything what you suggest or your idea today, and the secretary, Captain Aziz and Zul will definitely take down whatever your suggestion is. And if we have to deliberate further, then we will organize a council meeting to deliberate whatever your ideas and suggestion or proposal for IKMAL to reach out to more members and as well to the non-members. And because of the our effort in reaching out to members, like giving the financial assistance during the MCO, we have, the effort, even though it's a small effort, but we touch the heart of seafarers, that we have seen that overwhelming applications of new members application to become IKMAL members. Just in the spread of 3 months, we get 100 over new members. Yeah, so that is something that we feel that we have to reach out to members. So for today's session, that we want to reach out to you, we want to hear you. What else can IKMAL do to members or non-members so that they can participate to IKMAL activities for the benefit, for the interests of seafarers. And that again, so on behalf of IKMAL, I welcome everybody to this session today. And I pass it to the Secretariat for the next agenda. Probably that the Secretariat will do a short presentation. And after that, we will have a kind of a discussion or feedback session from you. Over to you, Captain Aziz. Thank you very much.
First of all, IKMAL is an association that was registered in 1985 under the Registrar of Societies. I have to impress here, kami adalah satu persatuan ya, bukan kesatuan. Kita bukan union. Jadi kami didaftarkan di bawah pendaftar pertubuhan pada tahun 1985. Kemudian pada tahun 2014, kita buat quite a major amendment to kita punya perlembagaan constitution, di mana kalau dulu kita accept only people yang holding COC sebagai master ataupun sebagai chief engineer sebagai ordinary atau life members, tapi mulai 2014 kami pindah dan kami dapat kami terima semua COC holders. Any COC holders, certificate of competency punya holder, dia orang boleh join as members, sama ada as ordinary members ataupun as life members. So that was a major punya amendment satu. Kedua, kita tukar nama kita sebab bila nama dulu ialah Institut Kelautan Malaysia. Jadi sekarang kebanyakan orang confuse institut tu dengan sekolah latihan. Jadi kami pindah kami punya perlembagaan nama, kita guna nama Ikhtisas Kelautan Malaysia. Tapi dia punya shortnya sama juga. Maknanya IKMAL, Ikhtisas Kelautan Malaysia. Itu the second major amendment. Kemudian sebab amendment ini dibuat ialah kerana Introduction of Maritime Labour Convention MLC 2006 ke dalam Malaysian punya undang-undang perkapalan. So we wanted to represent the sea-going punya community. Itu sebabnya. Jadi selain daripada dalam meminda perlembagaan tu, kita punya objektif utama ialah untuk memperkasa dan menjaga kebajikan seafarers ataupun members, bukan seafarers ya, members, sebab ahli-ahli IKMAL tak semestinya pelaut. Mereka-mereka yang bertugas di darat pun layak untuk menjadi ahli. Jadi kita terima degree holders dan juga mereka-mereka yang memiliki sijil-sijil yang ada kaitannya dengan maritim. Jadi itu dari segi pindaan perlembagaan yang agak ketara, yang very important. However, besides that, satu lagi kami punya objektif ialah untuk meningkatkan tahap profesionalisme kita punya members. Maknanya to memperkasakan kita punya professionalism of all members ya. So what we do is kita conduct a couple of activities. Ya, dia baru keluar. Sekejap. How we do this enhancement of professionalism, kita panggil dalam bahasa Inggeris, ialah dengan cara kita conduct ini presentation ya, kalau semua boleh tengok boleh nampak sekarang? Boleh. Okay, alright. So tadi I sebut tadi cerita mula tadi. So sekarang kita dah ada di sini disebutkan the major amendments ya yang I sebut tadi. Okay. Kemudian satu lagi development baru ialah pada tahun 2017 kita punya council decided that untuk ratings ni, yang mana yang crew members ni, dia orang ada problem sebab they cannot join under the constitution punya this thing. So what we do is kita terima dia orang rating sebagai associate members. Kita benarkan rating sesuatu untuk join IKMAL sebagai associate members. Itu yang dia punya pindaan-pindaan yang agak very important. Okey, macam mana dia punya perjalanan IKMAL ni? So pertama kita ada satu council. We have got a council that is elected by the members at the AGM pada mesyuarat agung tiap-tiap tahun. Jadi sekarang ni ini the present council members. Kita ada presiden who is a DEC COC holder dengan memiliki academic degree dan beliau memiliki bisnes sendiri. Vice President juga DEC COC holder juga memiliki bisnes sendiri. Honorary Secretary-nya adalah seorang holder engine COC holder. Dia sedang bertugas dengan satu syarikat swasta. Honorary Treasurer juga DEC COC holder. Dia memiliki bisnes sendiri. Kemudian di bawahnya ada elected council members. Kita ada 3 orang yang memiliki DEC punya COC. Kemudian 4 ahli council memiliki engine COC dan setengahnya memiliki academic degree di atas dia punya engineer COC itu. Dan kita ada juga 2 orang aktif serving seafarers. Active seafarers ni makna mereka masih bertugas di atas kapal. Satu daripada bahagian deck, satu dari bahagian engine. Jadi kesemua 9 orang ahli majlis di-elected di masa annual general meeting. Kemudian selain dari 9 itu, Presiden akan melantik 4 lagi ahli untuk cukupkan 13 orang. Dan dia orang punya tempoh bertugas, duration of service is depending on the constitution. Presiden dia boleh jadi presiden tiap-tiap kali 2 tahun, tapi maksimum 3 term. Lepas 3 term dia mesti berhenti dan orang lain akan ganti. But that one is in the constitution. Very technical, tak payah kita. So now I sebut pasal objektif tadi. Jadi objektif ialah yang penting sekali ialah kita memperkasa dan menjaga welfare, kebajikan ahli kita. Ini very important ya. Sebab IKMAL punya constitution dia cuma benarkan kami menjaga ehwal kami punya members. We have no locus standi. Tak ada kuasa untuk act on behalf of non-members. This is there in the constitution. Jadi the main objective of IKMAL punya constitution sekarang ialah untuk memperkasa dan menjaga welfare registered members. Selain daripada itu, kita akan itu dari segi welfare. Kemudian the second prong of the objective is to enhance and assist the professionalism of kita punya members dengan cara membuat events atau aktiviti seperti seminar, workshops, courses, conferences dan lain-lain. Ya. Selain daripada 2 main objektif ni, satu welfare dan satu lagi ialah meningkatkan profesionalisme, kita juga IKMAL juga memainkan peranan sebagai consultative body apabila diperlukan. Kadang-kadang MOT jemput kita untuk bagi pandangan, kadang-kadang Jabatan Laut Malaysia jemput kita. Jadi kita jadi consultative punya body. And then kita publish magazine berkala. Selalunya kita publish 2 kali setahun. Magazine dipanggil Mariners Malaysia yang ada hubung kait dengan ehwal maritim. Kita maintain kita punya role of members. We keep the role of members so we know who are our members. Dan kita sedang rancangkan bagaimana kita akan boleh main peranan untuk continuous professional development. Bagaimana untuk meningkatkan lagi development profesional kita punya ahli. Ini kita sedang berbincang macam mana nak buat. Ya. Dan seterusnya, bagaimana kita buat aktiviti-aktiviti untuk meningkatkan profesionalisme ialah dengan cara satu, kita conduct IKMAL Presidential Lecture tiap-tiap tahun yang akan disampaikan oleh tokoh-tokoh maritim yang terkenal antarabangsa dan juga lokal. Macam Presiden sebut tadi, sepatutnya kita akan adakan Presidential Lecture kali ini ialah dibuat oleh Presiden dan Grup CEO Petronas, tapi beliau minta untuk ditunda. Sepatutnya 19 hari bulan November tapi minta ditunda atas sebab COVID ni. Kemudian kita conduct maritime related seminar atau conferences dan kadang-kadang kita akan buat kursus-kursus pendek yang tak ada kaitan dengan STCW 78 as amended. Ini juga kita buat. Kemudian sekarang kita boleh pergi kepada open discussions, tapi sebelum saya pass back to the President who will act as moderator, ada 2-3 rules of the road yang kita kena remember. Satu ialah boleh bertutur dalam bahasa Malaysia ataupun dalam bahasa Inggeris, no problem, kita boleh terima pakai. Kedua, sebelum you ketengahkan soalan atau pandangan, tolong introduce yourself, nama dan apa jawatan dan di mana you bertugas ke apa kan. dan selepas itu you boleh ketengahkan pandangan-pandangan. I repeat, boleh dibuat dalam bahasa Melayu atau dalam bahasa Malaysia. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I pass it to you, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Captain Aziz, our Secretary General. And to the new members who just joined, thank you very much for joining us to this session this afternoon. And before I open up to the floor, I would like to welcome, we have in fact a last council meeting, we have appointed a few subcommittees head, probably a few, I would say, subcommittee to look into new initiative or new projects in terms of reaching out to the members. Maybe Amirul or Cik Badri want to say something? That you are, Captain Fahmi is not around. Yeah. Amirul, you want to say something?
Right. Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon, everybody. Amirul Shafiq here, acting council member, appointed as head of the Welfare and Wellness Committee for IKMAL. So moving forward, of course, we like to do a lot of activities for our members and the general seafaring and maritime fraternity at large. But due to COVID, getting people together, it's being very difficult. But we have few plans in the pipeline, starting with maybe a mental health and mental awareness campaign with MIASA, which is a Malaysian Mental Health Association. This is planned to be in somewhere in December, if we can get all the speakers firmed. So these are few plans in place. There are others in pipeline, which we are still finalizing. But yeah, we open up the suggestions to the general IKMAL members to come back to us if they have any suggestions or initiative they would like us to conduct as part of wellness and welfare for the seafarers and also for our members. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Badri, you want to say anything?
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat petang. Saya Ahmad Badri, Council Members, Head of Subcommittee Membership. Obviously, I will look into how to increase membership for the association. Tapi I work closely with Subcommittee Welfare and Wellness by Encik Amirul because we have to work in hand with other subcommittees. I mean, what members want, what kita kena attend segala apa yang member minta, dan juga kita kena bagi servis dekat member. Baru kita boleh increase the members, and with the increment of members, kita boleh kuatkan kita punya credibility dan juga kita punya suara. Okay, sama juga macam Cik Amirul, right now we are focusing on mental health. We are discussion with several agencies, dengan several ministry into this matter. Agak perlahan tapi ada traction, insyaAllah. So harapkan dapat input lagi daripada semua supaya kita punya activities suit the member punya keinginan. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Cik Badri. Without further ado, I welcome members who are present in this session this afternoon. Anything wrong that that you think that what currently the IKMAL is not doing, that you want IKMAL to do it, and anything new that you want the IKMAL to venture in or to look into, please say so. Give your feedback, your ideas and proposals. You are most welcome. And there's no idea is a wrong idea, right? Thank you very much. Please, I open to the to everyone to say something there. Thank you. Okay, now Captain Rahim Osman, you're on.
Okay, thank you, Captain Zuradi. Thank you, Captain Aziz, for good slides there. I just want to pick up from our last session with you as MOSWA, yeah? Malaysia OSV Owners Association, where we together with Petronas, we talked about training. We talked about the cadets not getting sea time because of lack of berthing. So to make just recently, Jabatan Laut also through the merchant shipping notice have now mentioned that tugboats used in harbors and all other vessels as from 1st January 2021 have to be Malaysian flag, of course. And they also mentioned about, the manning, where 50% has to be Malaysian and then so on and so forth until 2023. All harbor tugs, bunker boats, everything had to be Malaysian flag and 100% Malaysian crew. This is compounding our existing problem, where there is not enough berthing space for cadets on vessels. So perhaps maybe we should now time to reiterate again. We had to pick this up again with Petronas and Jabatan Laut, MOT and all that to address this issue, because it's going to be worse now that the Jabatan Laut has also released that notice that I just mentioned to you, that all Malaysians, all harbour vessels must be Malaysian manned. So we have to plan something now, because if we have a vision of making it Malaysianized, Malaysianized on board, Malaysian flag, everything, but we are not ready. So perhaps if can IKMAL, take this up again, and I can assure you, MOSWA and even maybe MASA will probably be with you to work this thing, to move this thing forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Naim. We also have comments on the chats, if you can read the chats. From Captain Ramlan, can IKMAL become professional institute and become professional body like Malaysia Medical Association, Bar Council? Is there any work towards that? I think to Captain Ramlan, your question here is that we are already a professional association, Maritime Professional Association of Malaysia. And then one of our objectives also to elevate IKMAL to be a kind of professional body. That's why we get involved into a lot of like a conference, seminar and all that. In fact, we also register our interest to Port Authority that to be the consultative body in case of ports accident, that to include us to be party in the investigation team. So that is kind of thing that we do it. But is there, I mean, to be a professional body, I think we are already a professional body today. And anybody else have to say anything? Captain Muhammad, very serious.
Mr. President, may I add a little bit to Cik Ramlan punya query tu?
Yeah.
I think what Captain Ramlan was trying to say is that we become like the MMA ataupun the Bar Council. That is a legal requirement, Captain Ramlan. Kita terpaksa mendapat kelulusan, mesti ada satu akta parlimen yang mengiktiraf, that recognizes IKMAL as that type of professional body. So we have discussed it from the first time IKMAL was incepted. Tetapi buat masa ini, we find that there is still some difficulty in trying to get the legal requirement done, i.e. untuk diterima sebagai sebuah badan yang macam Bar Council atau MMA, mengambil kira kita punya satu jumlah keahlian kita, kedua the grades of ahli yang kita ada. But it is something that we are always trying to work towards. Inshallah, mungkin not in the recent distant future, mungkin kita akan capai this thing. Tapi it requires an act of parliament untuk mengiktiraf IKMAL sebagai badan profesional the way that you are mentioning it. Inshallah, we are trying to work towards it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Cap.
Captain Amin Murad, I thought you want to say something.
Assalamualaikum. And
Waalaikumsalam.
very good evening. I see some familiar faces here. Zuraini, you did mention about some investigation, asking the port to be involved in investigation of this thing. Recently, the incident, Dayang Pepes incident, yourself in to be part of the that Dayang Pepes hit the platform. I think as far as offshore safety and security are concerned, that vessel shouldn't be close 500 meters in the vicinity of the platform. And I personally, the way that I see that, you know that the typhoon is coming up, what the hell for the vessel is still there? I think if you're looking at procedure-wise, I think it's obvious who's at fault. And I think, frankly speaking, if we were to leave to the authority to do this investigation, I think the welfare of those deceased will not be taken care. Everybody, as far as I'm concerned, I think Malaysian, based on my experience working in Malaysia, we are excellent at CYA, that is cover your ass punya situation. Basically, we look at the investigation, we come out with what we want up front before we go in that way. So I think, personally, I feel that this involves fatality. We have to be serious about this. And Captain Nahim from Mosbah nampak very serious sangat. I think he would agree with me. No, I think we have to probe in, try to be involved in this one, so that I think if we leave this one, if Petronas were to do an investigation, I know Petronas quite well. How they do things, I think that CYA clause will come in. And then those yang mati though will not get anything. And then nobody will defend. Because the way that we want to see is that if it happens, it can happen again. So the best thing is for us to learn that thing and tighten up the procedure. Kita procedure ada. The policing part of the procedure too, I think is missing. I might be looking a bit frustrated here because I think when you read the fatality, it's a pity. It's a pity, you know. I think back to your point tadi, asking the port authorities for you to be involved in this thing about motor. I think if you can ask the macam oil and gas also to be invited, I think you have to go this one through as a marine department atau for MOT. I think I stand to be corrected. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Cap. We will look into this one, see how or which platform can we go through. Obviously, to get into Petronas investigation team may be quite difficult, but we try to work a way out lah. You know, probably through marine department in this case lah. Because among our members, even in council members, we have a lot of members that have experience, a long time experience like you yourself. And then we have Captain Mano Kasim already in the politics committee for a long time. That's why we thought that we have that capacity to be in the maritime incident investigation team. But in this case, like what happened to recently the Topaz, that is something that new that probably we have to work out a way to be in the team. Thank you very much for your session. Yeah, Captain Encik Ahmad. Yeah.
Hello, Cap. Good evening. I would like to ask my question, regarding is it IKMAL can supply or provide any firm for the anything in case for the industrial relation court? I mean, if they already do some court case, is it IKMAL have provide any lawyer firm? That's from me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. So far, we have not have any, but any council member to say anything like this, but we have not involved into the legal status yet. So far, what we have complained from our members, like they are being mistreated or they don't get a salary for more than 3 months. We normally contact the company involved first. You know, if we cannot get it settled between IKMAL and the company, looking at the seriousness of the case, if it is strong ground, that we normally forward to Marine Department to take up the case. But as IKMAL, today we have not involved in any legal action or any court case yet.
Mr. Moderator, boleh I join? Can I say something?
Yeah.
Okay. Untuk nak jawab you punya soalan tu, we have handled banyak kes-kes unfair dismissal, tak bayar gaji, tak bayar EPF, yang selalu kerap berlaku kan. Tapi cara IKMAL buat ni, kita try to cari apa yang kita panggil win-win situation. So what we do, first we contact the company, kita bagi tahu kita ada terima aduan macam ini, kemudian kita bincang dengan company macam mana cara untuk selesaikan masalah. Alhamdulillah, untuk pengetahuan you, sejak tahun 2015 sampai sekarang, boleh kata 97% kita boleh selesai dengan berbicara dengan syarikat. Tak payah kita bawa ke tengah. Ada 3 kes yang kami terpaksa bawa kepada Jabatan Laut. Kemudian Jabatan Laut pula panggil kita semua berunding. Jadi dalam segi ini, kita tak berapa minat nak galakkan ahli untuk ambil peguam dan pergi mahkamah. Sebab tak garanti you akan dapat you punya apa yang you mau, tapi you kena bayar lagi duit dekat peguam. Sebab IKMAL tak ada duit untuk bayar peguam. Justru itu kita punya modus operandi begini. Bila member adu kepada kita terima semua maklumat, kita bincang dengan syarikat, kita cari jalan tengah. Kebanyakan syarikat, untuk pengetahuan semua yang ada dalam sesi ini, kadang-kadang bila I telefon syarikat, orang yang jawab telefon belah sana dia kata, Cap, saya punya gaji pun dia orang tak bayar. So can you imagine kalau jabat punya gaji pun dia orang tak bayar, macam mana kita nak bertegar, marah dengan dia orang? Jadi kita ikut cara softly. Jadi kita kata okey, kita faham, tapi member kami dah kerja 3 bulan, dia perlu dibayar. Jadi kita cari jalan selesai. Ada setengah company dia orang kata boleh bayar secara ansuran tak? Ada setengah company cakap bagi saya 2 minggu. Tapi alhamdulillah, I repeat ya, dalam 97% kita dapat selesaikan tanpa perlu bawa kes ni ke tengah. Jadi setakat ini IKMAL prefer. Tetapi kalau berlaku kes di mana terpaksa you bawa kes ni sebab you dah try semua tak boleh, IKMAL pun dah try tak boleh, you boleh cari lawyer, tapi kami tak mampu untuk fund. Kita tak boleh bagi duit untuk you ambil lawyer. That one you kena sendiri uruskan. So I hope it answers your question. Thank you.
Thank you. Because some of these stuff.
Yeah, can I carry on?
Because some of the crew they asking me, kita jadi kalau kita apa-apa kes teraniaya dekat atas company, kena hantar balik macam mana, gaji tak dibayar. So far unfair dismissal. So dekat mana kita nak mengadu? They will ask for the cement. Saya mewakili cement sebab saya still active cement as a Mr. Shukri, our council member. So saya just nak soalan daripada mereka. Macam mana kita nak backup diri kita walaupun kita rasa macam teraniaya. So I think Captain Abdul Aziz just now already answered the question, right? So IKMAL never provide any lawyer firm until today for any unfair dismissal or any case regarding salary or what for the crew, right? Okay, that's it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Chief Engineer, saya Fahmi, by the way. Sorry that I had my IKMAL punya ni. But then again, to look into your question, kita kena tengok 2 different perspective. When you say unfair dismissal apa semua, IKMAL does offer, it helps the member. to look in terms of the contract terms, whether things yang mana memang nampak unfair dismissal, that is one thing. But then your question consists of two different parts tadi. Unfair dismissal, gaji tak bayar apa semua. Yes, we are helping members with that. I agree. On the second part of the question, where there is a lawyer services for industrial court, for your information, for kita, like what Captain Aziz mentioned, we never had a case where the court has, the case has to be brought over to the industrial court. Yes. So to date, IKMAL has, I think, has successful in terms of the what we call getting the things done with the authorities up until Jabatan Laut Malaysia, of which the overseeing authorities in this industry. So in that sense, yes. So industrial court is a different thing where it applies to those yang working ashore. Then it comes under industrial court. So to date, that kita tak ada case. So if you're a member of IKMAL, IKMAL has been helping with with that angle to help with the unfair dismissal, gaji tak bayar, and then there were other browsers as well. So that's that. So will that be is that okay with you with that explanation? I think.
Yeah.
I
Very
think that's
good
quite.
explanation.
I think that's quite clear.
If I may add, Mr. Moderator, ni Cik Ahmad, the problemnya orang tak mau jadi ahli IKMAL. Jadi kami punya perlembagaan macam saya sebut tadi dalam punya presentation, selagi you tak jadi ahli IKMAL, kita tak boleh tolong. Sebab kita bukan union, kita bukan macam NUSPM. Jadi yang sedihnya, hari ini pun saya terima satu lagi SMS tadi, minta bantuan. Tapi kalau bukan ahli IKMAL, walaupun kita simpati, kita tak boleh tolong. Bukan kerana kita tak mahu, tapi perlembagaan kami tak boleh. Sebab dalam perlembagaan disebut only for its registered members. Jadi kita terikat dengan itu. Kalau kita pergi interfere dalam kes di mana ahli itu bukan pengadu bukan ahli, kita boleh disoal oleh majikan. Who are you to come and interfere? Sebab kita bukan union. Jadi tolonglah sebar luaskan kepada budak-budak yang ada kontak Jadi ahli IKMAL, kemudian you try kita tengok. Please itu saja. Thank you.
Okay, that I will add in to Captain Aziz punya ni. Sorry, saya banyak cakap sikit. Untuk Captain Aziz, kalau kita dekat darat pun, it's about a right to represent. So dia bukannya union wise saja, it's the right to represent. So if you're a member, automatically the association has the right to represent. So it make things easier. But when you're not member, that's why kita encourage that these guys to be a member. The right to represent tu ada, mudah. Itu yang selalunya orang tak nampak, the right to represent tu. So that's where lies the membership lah. It's not about the money ke apa ke, the right to represent tu penting when we engage with the entity lah. Okay, baik.
Kalau saya boleh tambah sikit, every establishment dia ada dia punya dengar kan?
Ya.
Okay. Every association, union, dia ada dia punya approach sendiri. Okay, macam kita di IKMAL, kita believe kita ada a good secretary general yang boleh negotiate with the company. So kita punya target tu, objektif kita nak gaji yang tak dapat tu dibayar ataupun the treatment yang tak betul tu diatasi. So itu target kita. So kalau maybe ada some other association or other union, dia ada approach yang berbeza. So itu terpulang kepada pertubuhan masing-masing. Tapi kita dekat IKMAL, objektif kita kalau gaji tak dibayar, kita nak dapatkan gaji tu. Tapi dalam masa yang sama, kita percaya the best way is to nego with the company. Sebab we are professional. Kita tak nak nampak macam kita ni satu badan yang menggesa dan sebagainya. So kita nak build the professionalism dan juga kita nak hubungan kita dengan company, we respect each other. I think that's our approach at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you. Nadri.
Mr. President, is it okay if I answer the Sharifuddin punya question with regard to the...
Yeah, go ahead. I think I missed that question tadi tu. And Captain Rahim Osman question tadi pun not answered yet. Can you Take care, Kri. Yeah.
Okay, untuk Cik Syarifuddin, it's a very good question. Okay, the reason why we have not any representative in the GLCs or any related body yang company, shipping company. So I had the opportunity to do a little bit of studies. Okay, the thing is, kita mostly ex-seafarers, we are COC class 1, yes. But then again, when you would like to climb to the top level of the management, there are certain criteria yang mana we are looking at the master degree. This is not, we have to understand yang filter the candidate, it is shore people. So the selection was done in such a way yang kalau the seafarers or the ex-seafarers doesn't upgrade themselves in terms of the paper qualification, they will find hurdles to climb to the top management. So that's why you see memang we have success story in terms of the head of Eagle Star, the head of AT, and these guys are holding MBA, etc. lah, master degree level. So that's why the stand now, if you see in certain forums, we are encouraging kita punya what we call ex-seafarers to take up that you punya paper qualification higher. The reason is, when you build a pyramid at the top level of CEO, you need a good level of support at the bottom side. So if you have a good layer of those with paper qualification, highly likely you will be able to achieve to the CEO level. Contoh kenapa most of the CEO come from finance, every single department you akan ada satu department of you akan representative of finance. You have a representative of accountant, lawyers, etc. So that's why you see certain degree of profession dia jadi CEO. And one more thing, for you to become a CEO, it's best that you have a good grasp of everything ashore. Okay, for instance, contoh, we seafarers, we are very technical, but then again, when we comes into a meeting of finance, HR, so we don't talk what we don't know. So sangat sukar untuk seseorang tu menonjol bila dia tak tahu apa yang dia cuba cakapkan. Contoh for HR, when you can do you boleh faham the training need analysis, etc. Apa yang diorang sembang, that person will be very confident and dia akan shine. That's why you see that those certain breed of seafarers dia boleh naik because they had the education and they are confident to talk about it. So that's something yang kita tengah encouragekan. In fact, the current council members pun we have very good share of experience, and then those with paper qualification. This is something very long haul journey, but then I would say on behalf of IKMAL, we are happy to take this journey together and kita pushkan lagi the seafarers to go with this, to this path. InsyaAllah in 10 years time, maybe not our time, we'll start seeing seafarers taking lead position in many other areas. In fact, you can take in MIMA, we have MIMA to be there, we have Muasa, Musba. Imagine if this guy all are equipped with paper qualification and ready to scale the top. So we just need to create a path for them, and we are working on that.
May I add up that?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Okay, so regarding I introduce myself first. My name is Syarifuddin Pufari. I have like my own consulting company in Melaka. We are working mostly on aquaculture, but because the economy is taking a tumble, so now I'm under contract under Atlantic Pacific Jet LLC, which is a company created by Professor Michael Simmons from Cornell University. So I am working with them as their system engineer. Okay. So regarding the what we talk about the professional path for seafarers to go to climb the management ladder, one thing I realized is that we spend too much time at sea, because when we want to climb into class 1, it takes time, all the exams, the sea time. And one thing that I realized, I noticed MIT had back in the day, they have a program called management trainee program. where they take in people with bachelor degree and bring them to train them in the managerial route. So is it possible, for example, for IKMAL to recommend MIT, for example, for the management training program to maybe reserve 1 or 2 spots where they take in maybe those with class 2 or class 1 that are like the top performers to go into the management program? Because when we took this seafarers, for example, when we go into office, we usually take the pathway of like superintendent, surveyor. This, although it is still in office job, but it is still a technical job. It doesn't really involve in managerial related, not really managerial news like that. So because if we notice, right, if we go into the background of these CEOs or, for example, the top people, they went into a specific training that is very different from conventional managerial level. Means because they are like well connected. We are talking about, for example, they went into Harvard Advanced Management Program. This is not cheap, and just because one has the money doesn't mean you can enter the program. We are talking about $84,000 for 6-week program. These are the type of training that these business leaders go before they can take hand into, for example, GLC or big publicly listed companies. So if we go through the pathway of the, means like the normal pathway of becoming superintendent and all that, the chances of us being what we call groomed into this position is very less. So it is possible, for example, if the management training program also involves seafarers with second class or first class. It is, of course, not for everyone, because when we look into the background, and also most of them come from finance. I think the most famous for GLC of the company is those with bachelor degrees in economy, as they are like undergraduate certification. Economy is basically like most of them, if we look, they are economy graduates. Of course, there is also some accountancy from that, but usually if company appoint accountant as CEO, that means that company is in a big problem, because we know accountant, their way of economists, they look forward, accountant, they work from previous data. So basically, accountant take hand of the company, they will usually means that company is in problem. That's why accountants are mostly limited to place such as CFO. We also see law, for example, just from the background of corporate law, are getting more exposure. We saw many companies also begin pointing this from law. And finance, although when we look at finance, they are pretty much like those in the accountant. They are good with technical, they are managerial but technical. So if we look into this pathway, if seafarers want to go into the management program, they should look into, for example, MBA. For example, UMC has an MBA, but still, if we didn't have the correct pathway, if we don't enter the correct job, we still cannot climb the management level. That's why I highly suggest, for example, IKMAL to discuss with MIT, for example, or Petronas for their management training program. They should look into taking in those from there, because if we don't build our pathway to the correct direction, even though they enter office, they are still not able to climb the position. Because when we look into the background, most people, the corporate leaders, they are not from, they study hard. I don't doubt it, they study hard, but you notice we cannot compete with them if we just going for the means that the education. Even if we have the education, we still cannot compete with them if we are not groomed to be just like them. The means like the pathway, we need to focus on placing seafarers into the management training program. So that's all I want to say.
Thank you, Sharifudin. I understand your concern here that this is talking about the opportunities in the company that you work. However, for IKMAL to get involved in promoting its members to be part of the management team of any company, I mean, it's quite from IKMAL objective lah. But however, we can see that people like those high flyers, those who have ambitious that they want to be somebody one day. They don't want to be sailing for the rest of their life. They want to be working in office in the corporate world, and they also work hard that probably get extra qualification. Works towards to be in the higher ranking or higher level in the company management team. I would say that it's not that your company don't look into your talent in such a way that probably they have a department to look into the new talent. If you perform very well, regardless whether you are in technical department or operation department or in accounting or finance department, of course, they will see the talent and your capabilities and your potential to be a manager or leader in the company one day. And of course, if you are being eyed, because they see that at a certain level, they see everybody has the same. I mean, they have the same experience and qualification and all that. But they, of course, they will have something like looking for new talent. They want to see among the people that they have who have the shining, who siapa yang masih yang paling bercahaya atau menyerlah sekali, yang tu dia akan pick up, okay, and then they akan form into a kind of middle management team in the company. So then from there on, they monitor lagi you punya performance and all that, and then only they start training you. Those potential, they start training you that, okay, this has potential to be a leader of the company one day. Then they will send you to other courses. I don't simply, I would say that seafarers or those with tech officers or engineers are not given the opportunity. In fact, I have been given opportunity to attend that Harvard advanced course. 2 weeks course in Sarjana, and I even class after me, I saw Captain Amir Murad also was there attending when he was with Petronas. I mean, we are selected because probably the company saw us as a potential. That you cannot say that at this stage that very hard for you to, to be in that management level, kan? But still work hard, if we just try to improve, this is talking about the personal horizon development or the career development. Look up, because you must have some ambitious that I want to be somebody, and then I don't want to be just sailing or seafarers at sea for the rest of my life. You want to be somebody, then you have your strategy, you have to work on your working plan, and then whatever qualification, additional qualification that you have, then people will see you, this guy is ready for this job, then they will pull you in because they see your potential and see the talent. I think that's my comment, but don't lose hope that you will not be seen. Work hard, you will be seen one day. You have the potential, you are the performer, they will see you, inshallah. Right? Anybody else?
Mr. President, kan Mr. Ain Syukur Ain.
Yeah. Somebody, I think Captain Kenneth boleh jawab tu.
To Captain Kenneth, are you around? What?
Captain Kenneth is very active.
Because this one is talking about I think he did mention last time in our meeting. Also, he mentioned about this one. Captain Kenneth, not me, but we will take up this one with Ain Syukur later on by Captain Kenneth, maybe.
Okay.
We accept that.
Untuk Cik Ain Syukur Ain. Rest assured, memang ada inisiatif ke arah ni dah sekarang ni. In fact, Captain Kenneth and Exco of IKMAL juga was the lead untuk blueprint untuk blueprint untuk seafarer development in future. So they have take this into account. InsyaAllah dalam masa depan kita are looking into active participation daripada laut seafarers. So you have maksud dia vice versa daripada laut ke darat, darat ke laut. So it's not darat ke laut per se, maksud dia atas kapal tu lah. Tapi the blueprint is there, it's just waiting to be presented to the minister kalau kami tak silap. But they are in fact, Captain Ramlan Bacik yang is here is very active with MyNet, and then you have rest assured ada ahli-ahli IKMAL yang lain membantu JKM, Jabatan Kemahiran if I'm not mistaken, yang banyak buat NOS tu. So in recent years, I think in the last 3 years when this start, we increase the lean towards education. There's a lot of involvement daripada ahli-ahli IKMAL bantu buat NOS, bantu buat dengan feedback to MIMA. So there's a lot benda yang behind the scene yang berlaku, and you start seeing the result now. InsyaAllah dalam few more years kita akan nampak ke arah tu. In fact, yang untuk TVET apa semua, there's a very active role played, cuma mungkin tak kelihatan lah. So there's a very active role from ex-seafarers. I think Captain Aziz pun being consulted for many things, benda macam tu. So insyaAllah in future there will be. Adakah tu menjawab Cik Syukur Ain punya soalan? Saya dua lagi. Cik Syukur, okay kan? Do you have any other thoughts yang you think can be done more? Yang boleh lagi.
Ain Syukur may have something there in mind that probably you want to know or the status or more detail about it. Syukur Ain, I think we will try to get Captain Kenneth to come back to you personally on this one. If he cannot sign in now, we'll come back to you, because I understand that he has been working on this one for the last 2 years. On the kind of SKM level with NOS program or that. Yeah. Thank you. Anybody else has one? Any other things?
Captain Rai Bosman punya query tadi pasal cadets placement.
Okay, cadet placement that I think maybe Captain Rahim also can still remember that we did organize a workshop on the cadet placement, and the last meeting with council meeting also we discussed on this one, that we have to bring this one back to Jabatan Laut for the attention because of the all those resolutions that we have taken during the workshop already submitted to the chairman of AC2 of the Port and Shipping Council, which is the Dato' Bahrain, the KP Jabatan Laut, to take up with the minister. But there are a lot of changes in the ministry. So we are pushing again the next opportunity meeting with Dato' Bahrain on this cadet placement. At the moment, we don't see anything yet out of that workshop. Yeah. Anybody else? Captain Fahmi, you are heading one subcommittee, kan? Any update?
No, I'm not there in. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I mean, Captain.
Okay. No. I'm not there yet in any committee, as far as I know. But since you brought me into the picture here, of course, I'm in the panel. I would like to add on to Captain Rahim Osman's on that cadet placement, because maybe I'm a bit confused, or I misread him. the recent port Jambatan Laut's ruling were for the harbor tax, that is within the harbor. I don't think during our talk or is in any of our mind that a harbor tax will also have a cadet training berth as such, The offshore support vessel is yes, but that offshore support vessel, Captain Zuraidi, as you said, it is already in the AC2 and we are waiting for it. Just that clarification, because JLM and the Ports Authority making 100% Malaysianizing, which Captain Rahim was mentioning may be an issue for MOSWA members on that. But I don't think the cadetship placing, or I must have misunderstood him, relates to the harbor tax which they are making 100% Malaysianizing.
Yeah, perhaps Captain Rahim, can you clarify that? Because you did mention both cadet placement as well as the Malaysianization of harbor tax. So, Captain Rahim?
Yeah, okay. What I meant was the manning must be Malaysian by all by 100 manning to be 100% Malaysian by 2023. What I'm trying to imply here is we talk about manning in every aspect of every different kind of vessels, including offshore support vessels, tankers, bulkers, and to an extent it will include harbor tax, because the manning of these people, when they go for training, they need that cadet placement. So as far as I remember, last year we talked together with you, MOT, Petronas, the whole Jingang were there in MOT talking about cadet placement. So we reported to AC2 and all that. It's very good. But there's nothing moving. To me, I'm getting letters and queries from Petronas. What is MOSWA doing to increase the Malaysian manning proposal? So it's not moving at all. The cycle has just been churning and churning and nothing is coming out. So perhaps because I remember IKMAL led this workshop, perhaps IKMAL can do part 2 or phase 2 of this workshop on cadet placement. Where are we? Because I mentioned about that merchant shipping notice by Jabatan Laut there, Captain Pani, where they want it to be Malaysianized. I'm not talking about harbor tax doing cadet placement. I'm talking about how are we looking at Malaysian manning all these harbor tax in the future. Nobody has any data anyway to talk about 100% Malaysian. Where are we now in the data? How many Malaysians are registered as seafarers? So nobody has that. But yet we're talking about Malaysianizing, but let's do it one step at a time. We recognize the fact that we are short of Malaysians. We do not really know what are we short of, but let's train people. Let's just get the next level of training going so that these are guys that we one day manning our vessels in future. But if we're not doing anything now, there's problems with cadet training. We will never move. The shortage will still be there. We will still be relying on foreign seamen. Thank you.
Okay. Now I understand better.
If I can give some information, in fact, IKMAL hadir dalam meeting berkaitan dengan the new ruling by the Marine Department berkenaan manning tu. I dengan Captain Aziz attended. I can say that there is two different things berkenaan dengan isu manning untuk kapal harbor tax ni semua. Satu perkara yang masih misteri ialah kita memang dekat Malaysia ni kita masih tak ada lagi the exact figure berapa ramai seafarers, berapa ramai tak ada kerja, berapa ramai shortage. Itu memang masih misteri. Okey, yang keduanya, Jabatan Laut di setengah wilayah mereka memang dah ada the figures, the statistik, the data berkenaan kapal-kapal yang beroperasi di pelabuhan-pelabuhan ikut wilayah. So it's up to the Malaysian seafarers now to prepare themselves to be ready to take the challenge to join the harbor tax service or the related marine service in port. dan mostly untuk habitat, they are using the domestic punya COC, in which domestic COC adalah daripada ratings yang clocked enough sea time dan attended the COC courses, domestic COC courses yang tak require cadetship time. So the status pasal yang SC2 tu masih lagi memang tak selesai. Tapi untuk the issue with the new ruling with the Marine Department ni, is a different issue saya rasa. Yang itu saya rasa boleh diatasi. Saya rasa kita Malaysian ratings yang ada, to take the challenge, to take the COC, the domestic COC, dan the Marine Department punya mission untuk nationalizekan the habitat, insyaAllah boleh jadi. Thank you.
Thank you. We have in the chat from Captain Sarah. Malaysian crew claims the wage scale are low for Malaysian to sustain the living cost. The asset operating within port limit are already on a very low cost. Will it have to attract Malaysians to take up the job? Can owners sustain the operating cost? Can anyone respond to this one? Who I mean, those who are in the shipping company or oil and gas company?
If I may, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Okay. Captain Sarah, the station is like this. For any policy implementation to be successful, first there must be a will. There must be a will from the ship owners to hire Malaysian seafarers for this hovercraft. And number two, there must be a will from the authority to make sure that it is implemented. So now we have seen that authority has come down and indicated that they have the will. Now I agree with you in our discussion that day, like Ahmad Badri said, with the Marine Department before they came out with the ruling. We understand that at the moment, the costs, the salaries given to these foreign workers on the hovercraft are very low. And comments were made that we don't think we will be able to find Malaysians that are willing to work at that rate. Granted, taken. But then, for such issues, there must be a solution. And the solution is we have to talk to the operators of the hovercraft, and most of them are under charter. I mean, they are operating under charter either by the ports for the tugboats or for whatever entities that hire or charter the craft. So there must be a discussion between all these parties, the regulator, the operator, and the charterers, to find out a reasonable costing that can be paid to these operators so that they can sustain Malaysian seafarers. But if we don't want to talk, if we don't want to discuss, and we keep on using that, oh, gaji terlampau rendah itu sebab anak Malaysia tak mau join, then we will never solve the problem. So I am an optimist. I think it can be solved, but there must be discussions of all the parties involved. We sit down together and then we try to find out a solution. Kalau perlu dibayar gaji lebih kepada anak Malaysia, it means the charter rate must be higher. So it would be ridiculous for the charterer to pay the whatever rate they have now. So we have to discuss. If they pay higher, what more do they want? So in my opinion, it will be able to be solved. The will is there now. We can see the will from the regulator is there. So now the will must come from the charterer of this craft as well as the operators of the craft, so that we can pay a little bit decent wages so that Malaysians will be attracted. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Captain. I hope Captain Sarah. Anyone else have anything to discuss now? It's time is almost 6:30 now. We do not limit the time frame, kan? Ya, Aziz?
Besok boleh kot.
You see, if there's no anyone else that want to?
With regard Captain Sarah punya question tu, on the port tu, I do agree that Captain Aziz mentioned that the authorities have taken the wheel the time to have it fully Malaysianized with a grace period, definitely we will see the industry adapting to the requirement slowly but surely to that requirement. So what happened is the market dynamic will slowly shift in a sense, as what Mr. Badri, I'm compiling what Mr. Badri mentioned. There are certain training which are what we call, this is what we call the lower hanging fruits yang achievable, and in future this lower hanging fruits will bear fruits, and then you will see a moving up the notch. Maksudnya from this domestic task we'll be seeing this guy migrating to near coastal, so that builds the base for our local Malaysian seafarers, covering both domestic and coastal, and then they will create a new challenge for the foreign going market. So ultimately, it will change the dynamic of the salary scale in future. Macam mana you see the current minimum wage scale, when it was introduced back in 2017, it has a provision to review for every 2 years. And it changed the dynamic of the market, the wage market. So again, I think it's quite a good move from both the authorities, and then it's an opportunity for us, IKMAL, MASA, MOSFA, to work the industry up. So definitely will be with Captain Rahim tadi. Hopefully we'll be able to work together and to bring this thing to its fruition, beginning with the domestic market first. So that's my opinion on that lah. On what will be.
All right, thank you. Anybody else before we conclude the session today? And it has been very, I would say, productive session, and a few things that we have also noted during the discussion, and that about the Malaysianizing of the hovercraft or hover tugs to Malaysian crew. Then I will personally take up this issue with the Marine Department, inshallah. And those stories that was mentioned just now during the session, that we will note down, and if we need that to take up to the further, I would say, level, then we will discuss among the council members, and we will bring it up to respective authorities and or ministries. All right. Shall we conclude the session today in almost 6:30? If there is no more, I would say, anybody else? If there's nothing, then I would say that I would like to conclude this session by thanking everyone that taking part, participating this town hall session. And indeed, it has been a very productive and excellent session. And maybe we will have this kind of session maybe next time, maybe 1 or 2, 3 months down the line, if there are issues that we need to discuss or get from feedback from the members. And thank you very much for those who has participated, active participation in the live, even in the chat. Thank you very much again. And hope that whatever future IKMAL activities, we can have your involvement and participation. And to that, I think everyone that present now deserve a pat on the back. Everyone, you know. Yes. Congratulations for well organized to the Secretariat for this session. Thank you very much again, all. And we conclude the session. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.